Update number 8 for Planet Coaster 2 was just announced, and with it comes some of the most important stuff we've ever seen in a Planet Coaster 2 update. We're going to be talking about weather, new themes, the next DLC, a little bit of a teaser for that, as well as some other incredible things like new platforms and a bunch of new improvements to coasters and rides. So without further ado, let's jump into it. How are you guys doing today? My name is Leaf. Everything that they have been adding in these updates has just been so awesome to see. And we're gonna go through it in terms of my level of excitement. And the first thing I'm very excited about is the new level of immersion that we're gonna be able to have in our parks with the new weather system. So previously, we only had like a couple different weather types in Planet Coaster 2. We had cloudy, light and heavy rain, we had windy, but now we are officially seeing thunderstorms as well as snow make its appearance to the game. Let's talk about thunderstorms first. These are going to be a really fun kind of challenge to integrate into your games if you have not tried challenge mode yet. I highly suggest you do. It is such a wonderful way to really learn about the game, but this is going to be a new element added to that. Thunderstorms will be able to disable your buildings and your rides, even with guests still on it, which I think is a fun little thing to work around. They say in the little update video that it's encouraged to close your rides down if there is a thunderstorm, just so your guests don't get trapped. They're gonna have a bad time if they do. Not only that, but body dryers are more important than ever now. You'll be able to introduce these around your park just to make sure that your guest dryness need, which is new, is actually met. But what everyone is super excited for more than anything else is going to be snow and winter effects. Yes, we finally have snow in this game, and it is going to be great. Now, of course, the big focus of Planet Coaster 2 has always been the pools and resort elements. And you might think the wintertime might kind of deter them, and absolutely that is the case. Pools will actually freeze over if there is not a heater in the pool, which I think is just super awesome. Not only that, but you'll actually be able to add heaters above ground as well. Wintertime brings in a new need mechanic to the game, which is going to need your guests to always have warmth around them, especially in the wintertime. So heaters can be introduced inside, outside, in your pools, outside of your pools, wherever they can, in order to make your guests happy, which I think is super cool. Of course, these winter updates and the snow come alongside the wonderful festive theme. I'm super excited about this. The other day, I actually popped back into Planet Coaster 1 to check this theme out just in a little bit more detail, and my golly, we're getting some great pieces in here. Now, of course, one of the main parts of this theme set is going to be the gingerbread. A lot of people might look at this at face value and be like, why the hell would I want gingerbread pieces? But my biggest love for these games, for Planet Coaster, Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution, has always been using pieces not for how they're originally intended. And because of that, I look at these pieces and I'm like, there are going to be so many awesome opportunities for us to be able to make some great things. I already look at that gingerbread and I'm like, that is going to be such a good new mulch piece. I can't wait. But we also get a bunch of sparkly lights, your classic fairy lights and stuff, so that's going to be so cool. But that's not the only theme that we get a look at. We also, at the end of this update video, I'm going kind of out of order over here, we get a little bit of a sneak peek when it comes to the next possible DLC for Planet Coaster 2. It's so small, it looks like a gift shop, but I think there's a little bit more that's in play over here. It has a very toy-like element, so I'm very excited to see what this is gonna have in store. If we're gonna finally be able to make our Toy Story theme parks, that's gonna be so fun. Which is kind of crazy because the other day I literally made a Tinker Toy playset, which is kind of like what you see over here. It's kind of like what you would see at Toy Story Land. I don't know, I just thought that was very funny. Now, not only that, but we also get a brand new item, which I know our good friend Taji 3D is going to absolutely love. This is the new platform called the Spring. Now, currently we only have 4 platforms in here. The newest one was the radial. It kind of rotates on itself. If I place all of these down, you can see exactly how all of these move. But the radial actually acts like a ball in a socket. Like, try and move your arm around a little bit. That's kind of how it moves. But what I am very excited for is this new spring one. This is actually going to work kind of dependent on how it moves itself. So you can attach these to scenery, you can attach them to rides, you can attach them to other platforms, and they will actually interact with the environment depending on how they move around. Super excited about that, but I'm super excited to see what Taji does with it more than anything. Speaking of animated scenery, they are now officially scalable. So for example, if you do see any items that kind of look like this with the base under it, we're not able to scale them just yet, but soon we will be able to. And even really useful pieces like this. This is the belt drive from, I believe, the Western set. We can't scale it just yet, but that's going to be so awesome. Even these windmills pieces too. You can't really scale them right now, but soon enough we will be able to. So yeah, so that's going to be a really helpful feature. I really hope in the next update we do get kind of like a guest or like, you know, just person size animatronic that we can attach pieces onto. I mean, just looking at this, I wish I could customize him, you know? Okay, it's the spellcasters, right? This is my biggest one, and I'm sorry for making this kind of like a little tangent, but they have a bunch of animation types that you can change out, and you can make these all look completely different. You have a static one, you have casting. I would love to see just skeletons of these where we can attach scenery onto them. That's my biggest want right now. So in terms of other items that we have in here, we have returning and brand new blueprints, returning blueprints for all the brand new themes that we got over the last few free updates for the Western theme, for the fantasy theme, pirate theme, sci-fi theme, and whatever else we got. Genuinely, we've gotten so much that I start to forget, but that's going to be really awesome. I always do love to see blueprints come to the game because it's just an easy way of building out your park, especially if you're not as adept at building as other people are. It's going to be super helpful for that. Not only that, but we also get brand new blueprints altogether for some of the existing Planet Coaster 2 themes. So a bunch of new Viking, aquatic themed, resort themed blueprints for specifically flat rides are being added. Super useful. Now you might think that we kind of stopped the bill right there with free updates, but the Sorcery pack actually gets a bit of a small update. So yeah, the value of that just keeps going up. I'm very excited about that. The first thing that we do get is that the Vector Child Coaster, that is the first kiddie coaster to be able to go backwards with its own new blueprint slash custom track setup. So it does get a return variant. If you look at my screen right now, these are all the new, these are all the return variants. These are typically coasters that go backwards, and currently our little boy over here can't do that, but I'm super excited to see what the possibilities are going to be for those going forward, as well as the LSM Raid and Bike and Sidecar coasters being able to have a customizable pause launch so that you can hold your guests before they actually go into an LSM, and that also is functional as a swing loop too, so you can send them backwards from that same element as well. There are some new little updates to current in-game coasters as well, base game as well. So currently the biggest one that I personally think of is going to be the Mine Train coaster right over here. Not the swinging Mine Train, the normal Mine Train. As you can see over here, we have the sleepers in between each rail. Those are the big wooden pieces. Americans might know that piece as what's known as a railroad tie. However, they are adding a new track variant that allows us to get rid of those so that we can get a little bit more customization on those. Super excited for that. The HPC steel rail and steel topped wooden coasters have an LSM track piece now, which is very awesome. Not only that, but both looping coasters are getting dual spine track pieces for anything that might require just a little bit of extra support. Super excited for that. There were also some other updates to the tracked rides as well. Now a lot of these rides will be able to have music per train instead of kind of just like overall. So now you can finally sync them with whatever in-game track you have. These include but are not limited to the antique cars, log flume, ghost train, shooting ride, and so much more. I'm sure I'll put them on the screen up here. And in terms of other updates for the game, there's a bunch of new like gameplay updates when it comes to upkeep, management, maintenance. There's a whole bunch of new factors in there. Again, the entire changelog is up for viewing so that you guys can check it out yourselves. I am not really too much of a challenge mode slash career mode slash franchise mode player, but if you do care about those elements of the game, I highly suggest you check those out. stuff, you can just absolutely tell that Frontier really wants to make sure that that element of the game is still loved and is still updated, so it's really awesome to see them put all the love into that. Now, this is quite a robust update, and there's also a bunch of other stuff I didn't even touch on just yet. There's a bunch of new concrete pieces too, rough concrete wall pieces, so that's going to be super awesome to see what those come out to be. I think genuinely those might be my favorite pieces out of the entire update, because I am in desperate need of new concrete in this game. Oh my word. So yeah, a ton of awesome updates, a ton of new themes coming. Again, that festive theme, I cannot wait. Oh my word. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm very excited for this, and I'm very excited to see what this game has in store for the future. So if you guys are excited for this, let me know. Or if there's something that you think is missing, also let me know. Frontier, if you're listening, I still want my search feature back. I've emailed you guys a couple of times, still nothing. But with that being said, have the most wonderful of wonderful days. I'll see you all in the next video. Hopefully we see more information on that DLC teaser soon. But have a great one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.